Good afternoon. Good afternoon, y'all. How you doing? So, like I did say in my intro earlier this week, we're going to talk about two subjects that are normally taboo to people of color, to brown people, to Black people, as the political definitions are, or we call ourselves the global majority that are minoritized in the West. My name's Julie Sylvia Kalungi, so I advise you to grab your cuppa, grab a drink, do what you need to do, because we're gonna talk about the subject that is grab a drink, do what you need to do. The subject that is menopause, and we're also gonna talk about the subject that is mental health. So I'm going to do a presentation for you so that you can, like I promised last time, so that you can understand my journey better. Before I do that, I'm going to do some sharing very quickly right here so that we can get this party going better. So allow me to share to a few groups so that we can get this party going. Yes. Okay, so I've shared to a few groups. That is good enough for me. So welcome to today's broadcast. Like I said, I'm going to be sharing a presentation because there's a lot of stuff that I want to share with you. I'm going to make sure that you get the data. So today is an intro on two important topics, and then we're going to delve deeper in 3 to 4 other sessions. I had hoped to invite professionals in the mental health space, professionals in the menopause space, other women who are experiencing menopause, who are in perimenopause or postmenopausal. Unfortunately, that's not going to be the case unless something changes. I will keep you posted. But I'm going to be sharing my personal experiences, my research, the learnings I have, and coaching and mentoring that I've had over the last, well, to be honest, 3 to 4 years as I went through menopause and into postmenopause. So how did I miss the signs? We're going to talk about it. Before we do, I'm going to share with you my screen so that you're aware of what's going on. So I thought that would show up on the screen. Excuse me, I am facing some what we call challenges, digital ones, you know. So I'll just exit that so that we can have present the full screen, present full screen. That will be better. Yes. So this is an open discussion on mental health and menopause for Black women. Like I said, I'm going to be sharing my experiences. Hopefully, we'll be able to share this on YouTube too, because I thought it would be possible to share on YouTube, but clearly it is not. Because I thought we could do, we could share on 3 different places, but we will see if that's going to happen. So, like I said, this is an open discussion, and this program has been enabled by Local Solutions, Liverpool Local Solutions support, which is called Local Connections, and I'm so grateful for this organization enabling me and empowering me to talk about these 2 topics. and to empower women, especially in Liverpool, in Merseyside, in the UK. Black women all over the world are facing these challenges, and we kind of we do what British people do, bite the stiff upper lip and just get on with it, and don't understand that there's help around, there are coping mechanisms, and there's a way to transition from puberty into postmenopause in a way that's graceful, allows your body to age gracefully, and allows you to continue enjoying your life. So we're going to focus on two things. First of all, I thought, and like I said in the earlier recording, which I'll share in the description below, which I did earlier this week, I thought I had seasonal affective disorder. Why? Because I truly was always anxious about winter. I did not like winter at all. I found winter very exhausting. I found it totally it wasn't something I looked forward to. I went through it with a lethargy, a sense of doom. That I experienced a lot of colds and health challenges due to all that mindset. And at the time, I did not for one stop to think that my mental health was being affected in a way that was not positive. So what is mental health? We all have mental health. Mental health is a spectrum. It's like saying, what is breathing? Are you breathing well, or are you not breathing well? So mental health is on a spectrum. On, are you either going through a phase where you're going through a difficult, challenging mental health, or your mental health is okay, or you are going through really amazing, exciting times. Either way, you're on a spectrum. And just like physical health, mental health is an essential aspect of overall well-being. It affects your thoughts, your emotions, your relationships, and your ability to handle different situations, whether you respond or you react. The two things are different. You can react to a situation, or you can respond to a situation. Reacting means you did not think, you did not plan, you just boom. It's like something just happened without you planning it. And responding means you've prepared, you've got tools, you've got support, you've got a process, you've got a plan, you've got a goal, and you're achieving what you're doing. So the way you handle your mental health can be on that spectrum as well. Okay, so we are going to look at menopause. What is menopause? Having defined mental health the way I understand it, what is menopause? And in my simple understanding, there's scientific understanding. And can I please preface this presentation by saying quite clearly that I am not a medical practitioner, and this is not medical advice. Please seek professional advice from medical practitioners and from people who are supremely qualified to talk to you about these topics if you want to delve deeper. I'm sharing my personal experience. I'm sharing my research. I'm sharing the journey I've gone through. Okay, so please understand this, and let's get on with it. So menopause is when a woman transitions from puberty, and some of you may be thinking, oh, puberty is teenagers. No, every woman goes through puberty from when they start their periods right through to when they stop their periods. That period is actually called puberty, and that's when you are women think it's when you're productive, you can have babies and all that. But really, menopause is when you transition from puberty to stop having periods due to a reduction in estrogen production. All this is both physical and psychological, and it can start anytime in a woman's life. But normally, it starts after the age of 45. But for some women, they have what is referred to as early menopause, right? Where it can start from anywhere from early 30s. And then there's menopause that's not actually natural, because all menopause is your body doing what your body is doing. But there's what is called forced menopause, where you have surgery, or you have your ovaries removed for whatever reasons, and you will go into immediate menopause. And then there's gender change menopause, where you have changed your gender from female to male, and you will be on hormonal therapy, and you will get into menopause. And you may or may not experience several of the symptoms of menopause, which I'll share with you in a bit. But all these are ways of getting into menopause, both natural or surgical or forced or whatever it is you may choose to call it. Okay. And for a lot of women, menopause they look like this when they are going through menopause. When they think about menopause, there's worry, there's anxiety, there's stress around the very topic. Women think that, their lives have come to an end. Women think that, oh, now I'm no longer productive, I'm no longer useful to society, and all because they think they are no longer able to have children. So women attach our whole lives, our whole life purpose to childbirth, and yet we are way more than that. And I'd like you, if nothing else, to take away from this recording, from this live stream, from this episode, that you are birthed, you have a purpose on this planet, and it's not just to have children and have babies or a baby making machine as a woman, because that's what worries women the most. They don't want to think about, oh, I can't, when menopause happens, then I can't have children anymore, then I'm no longer useful to society. Okay, that's not true at all, especially Black women, because the way in Africa, in Uganda, where I grew up, women are valued according to whether they can have babies, how quickly they can have babies, how many babies they can have for their partners and their partner, and grow the clan, as it's called. And so when a woman takes a long time to find a partner, have babies, everybody in their family and their friends starts looking at them in a certain kind of way, like you're not valuable in society if you're not making babies. And I'd like us women, especially women of color, to change that mindset. We're here for a purpose. We are human beings having a human experience, and there's a reason why you manifested on this earth as a woman. And if having babies is one of them, then so be it, but it is not your sole purpose on this planet. Okay, so what is SAD, which is what I thought I had. By the way, I thought I had SAD right from post-COVID. And SAD is an acronym for seasonal affective disorder. And it is a type of depression that you experience during particular seasons. It could be winter, it could be summer, or times of year. And it's a low mood, like as in low. And so the reason why I'm so glad I do not have SAD is because even though I had low moods, I was always able to inspire myself and motivate myself to show up. But people who are challenged and suffering with the mental health condition called seasonal affective disorder normally have such a low mood that lasts for a long time, and it affects their very life. They literally don't want to get out and show up in public. They don't want any light. They want to just cover themselves and almost like hibernate until the whole thing lifts. And that image that you're seeing on your screen is literally almost like the same kind of feeling. They feel like they are bottled in, like the walls are so close and they can't get out. They don't have the motivation and mental resilience to come out of that unless they get real support. And if you have SAD, you'll experience depression during some seasons in particular, or because of certain types of weather or temperature, and you can experience it, like I said, in winter or summer. But it's usually experienced more in winter. And we Black people, we are actually, at least the immigrants that I'm talking about are born in warm tropical countries, tropical locations like Africa, the Caribbean, and they have not experienced winter in their lives before. And so that's why one of the reasons I thought I had SAD, because I really, really, really disliked winter. Now, what are the common symptoms of SAD? Or what are the causes? Let's look at the causes and then we'll look at the symptoms. Okay, the common causes are lack of sunlight, vitamin D. We all know that sunlight gives us vitamin D. It resets when we wake up in the morning and get some of that beautiful sunlight, we reset our circadian rhythm. The circadian rhythm is your body clock, which you have no control over, but you can support its support of your life. And so lack of sunlight, which gives our body the vitamin D that our body then metabolizes for various functions in our bodies, including our systems, metabolism, you name it. That can cause, for some people, it can lead to SAD. Consistent lack of sleep, like poor sleep patterns, insomnia can lead to SAD. And for almost 2 years straight, I was literally laying in bed, awake, listening to my husband snoring and kicking the heck out of him. Poor guy. He's not poor, but really, I really used to pinch him, kick him, push him, and really just try to shut him up, because in my mind it was him keeping me awake for a few months at least. And then I realized, no, this is not my normal. I normally come to bed, my head hits the pillow, and I'm out like a light. I literally was that kind of woman. I could sleep on windy nights. Like there could be a storm blowing outside and I'd be, peacefully sleeping. What other people call dead asleep. And then all of a sudden I could not sleep. And this happened during COVID. Like when I was experiencing COVID, I also started experiencing insomnia. And I saw connected my poor sleep patterns with COVID. And so for a while I thought, when this COVID comes out of my system, I'll sleep again. And for 2 years, nada, nothing was happening. So that's why I thought I had SAD. Low serotonin levels. Serotonin is a hormone that helps with sleep. It helps with so many other functions in our bodies. But like I said, I'm not a medical practitioner. I'm only sharing what I know. And low serotonin can actually lead to lack of sleep, and that it can also lead to SAD. A family history of mental health challenges and mental illness can also lead to SAD. And so, although I'll really say something. We get what we believe in our lives. If you believe you have a family history of several kinds of things, for instance, also general practitioners tend to ask you whether you have a family history of heart disease, of hypertension, of diabetes, of all those things. If you say this is not my portion, I'm breaking that generational challenge. It's not my portion. And you believe you're healthy, you believe you do the right things, you feed your body, you look after your body, you exercise, you sleep, you will not get those diseases. So they call them, congenital diseases and genetical diseases, but genetics is a really interesting topic, and I'm not a medical practitioner. And then high melatonin in the system can also cause SAD. So what will you see? And I'll tell you why. One of the two things why I thought I had SAD, and why SAD and menopause, literally, it's like they were created in the same cauldron. The similarities are so huge, the similarities are so connected, it's ridiculous, right? So the symptoms: lack of energy. Like you wake up exhausted, you go to bed exhausted. You almost cannot keep your eyes open all day. You're feeling sleepy all day. You're tired for no reason. The smallest thing exhausts you. That could be a very big sign. But understand that these symptoms will not happen to you in silo. They come to you in multiples, and otherwise you probably are just going through something else that may not necessarily be seasonal affective disorder. Lack of concentration, which we call brain fog. Like you can't concentrate on anything. For almost 18 months, I could not really focus on my work. I could not produce the level of focus that I needed to do things that I needed to do to support my business, to support my family. It was difficult, and yet I did what we Africans and Black people do, or how I was raised in my family. Straighten yourself up, show up, and just get on with it. So getting on with it, while it's a good attitude to have, it's not always the best attitude to have, because seeking help, asking for help is very important. Let's get back to symptoms. First of all, feeling low and sad. Like feeling low, like really low, like there's no reason why you're low. You're healthy, you're fit, your family is healthy, you have a job. It may not be your best job, but you do, and you're just feeling low and sad. And that you should question yourself. And when you feel low and sad, you also attract fear, you also start getting anxious, and you start catastrophizing everything. Everything that happens to you, you blow it out of proportion and becomes this catastrophe that's like heading your way. Feeling irritable, oh my God, it's a huge symptom, and why I thought I had SAD. like my children could not do right for a while, for a window of time. Everything they did irritated me. Everything my husband said irritated me. Even though I showed up on social media smiling and looking like, butter couldn't melt, when the cameras are off, everything, if I saw something in the wrong place, I'd be really, really upset. And now I let things be. Not that I allow my home to be untidy, but things will happen when they happen. I'm not pushing myself and getting myself stressed out of simple things. Craving sugar. Oh my God. Now, I always used to say I have a sweet tooth, but where did that sweet tooth come from? As babies, we are born with a bland taste. Like we could be told to eat crappy stuff and we would love it because that's what we are told to eat. But I kept thinking I had a sweet tooth, and I would have chocolates, cakes, you name it, anything sweet, I'd love it. I loved it. Funny thing is, I stopped eating sugar. I stopped taking sugar in my tea, I think in 2000. And yet I kept telling myself, I'm healthy. I don't drink sugar. But I had all the sweet things that I need, that people with sweet teeth have, while claiming I didn't take sugar. I was also craving carbs. I would eat lots of carbs, which also turn into sugar in the body, and therefore your body gets a sugar hit as well. I was very susceptible. I was experiencing susceptibility to colds and flu. In winter, I would experience 3 to 4 colds. By the time winter ended, I was ready for winter to end. I hated winter. And then, funny enough, I was also experiencing colds in summer. And I thought it was allergies. I was saying, oh, I think I'm allergic to some things. I grew up in Africa. I wasn't allergic to anything. I ate anything and everything, and I was fine. And then I came to Europe, and then I kind of convinced myself that I developed adult allergies. And then I was anxious and agitated. Like I said, I was irritable. I developed anxiety. I felt I was experiencing anxiety and fear of everything. I tell you, when COVID came, I was so scared of COVID. I literally turned my family. I was like, don't do this, don't go out, don't wash your hands, have you sanitized, go back upstairs and bathe. When you come in, don't come into the living room, go straight upstairs, go to the bathroom, take your clothes off and go bathe. I was that person. I was that parent. So you can imagine why I thought I had SAD, and thank God I don't. I'm so grateful for my healthy body today. And I'll walk you through the things I've done to manage whatever other symptoms that showed up in my life that most of you know about. And then we're now going to talk about the common symptoms of menopause. And you're going to notice the similarities in the two phenomena, and why a lot of people, why women, especially Black women from the global majority, probably sometimes go through the two and don't even recognize the symptoms and just carry on with life. Menopause is a phenomenon that happens to all women. As long as you are blessed with long life, you will meet menopause. It is a transition, and it's natural, and we should not worry. And the weird thing is, menopause does not necessarily mean you can't have babies anymore. I mean, the Bible tells us that Sarah was told she was going to have a baby, and this woman was 70, right? So she was postmenopausal, and she was able to have babies. And today, science today can help any woman get pregnant. I mean, we hear on the news of women over 60 getting pregnant, right? So if I were you, I wouldn't peg my life on childbirth as the only reason why you're alive as a woman. So common symptoms of menopause: extremely heavy or spotty periods. Personal experience, my periods were super heavy in my early 40s. I did tell you in the last episode that I'll tell you I had early menopause. By the age of 39, I was experiencing huge periods. Before, I used to have 2-3 days of periods and I was done. They were usually light. I was able to do so many things. I am a sporty person. It didn't stop me. And then at 39, my periods started getting heavier and heavier. By the time it was middle of the year, I was leaking for 2 straight weeks, from 3 days of periods to 2 weeks of period, 10 days really. Up 10, I think there was a time I went to 2 straight weeks of heavy, painful periods with solids in them. Like, it was terrible. It was horrible. I hated going out, and yet I was working at the time in the corporate world, and I hated going to work. I needed to be near a bathroom very often. I carried with me a big bag with several sanitary towels in there just in case I leaked. And it was terrible. It carried on for a couple of years. Then they became spotty. Like, it came from 10 to 2 weeks of heavy leaking to, your period starts and then it stops, and then you have a few spots and then nothing, and then, like wasting sanitary towels kind of thing. And that carried on for 2 years as well. So from 39 up to 43, 44, I was going through peri or premenopause. And by the age of 45, I was in menopause. Yeah. So it can come early. And now I'm postmenopausal. I'm a woman of a certain age. You all know her. So the other symptom is lack of energy, consistent to lethargy, which is the same as what people suffer, and why a lot of women in menopause face so many mental health challenges is because imagine you're having extremely heavy periods, you're going to worry, you're going to be anxious, you're going to be and then you have this exhaustion, because when your periods are heavy, you're losing a lot of fluid, you're losing a lot of water, you're losing a lot of electrolytes, and so you feel tired, and there was consistent lethargy, that feeling of exhaustion. And then my weight, oh my God, I experienced uncontrollable weight gain. Like, I could not stop the weight. I was exercising. You guys saw me exercising every day. I was eating salad leaves for lunch. I tried on so many programs to manage my weight, and they didn't seem to work. And I was not realizing that I was also facing high cortisol levels due to the increase in exercise and inflammation in my body. And that led to the very poor sleep patterns, which I had connected to COVID. Because obviously menopause causes very poor sleep patterns. For some women, they get insomnia. It's horrible. Increased anxiety, agitation, stress. They are irritable. And all these are like on a spectrum of depression. It was horrible because the lack of sleep, like I was like this, tired, ready for my bed. I'd go to bed exhausted, ready for bed, and then I just could not sleep. It was horrible. Inflammation, insulin resistance, all these things are a sign of inflammation, and sometimes insulin resistance, which is also called metabolic syndrome, and in some circles it's called inflammaging. And you're going to hear that word sooner or later if you do some serious research around your menopausal journey as a woman. I'm saying these things to you because as a man, if you have women in your life, your sisters, your nieces, your aunties, your grandmas, your mother, your wife, they could be facing these challenges, and you may be looking at them a certain way and treating them a certain way, and you need to understand how to support the women in your life so that they can go through this transition in a way that they feel loved, they feel supported, and they feel like somebody cares, because that goes a long way into alleviating these symptoms. For women, this is a big one because it affects the men in their life, and one of the causes of a lot of men cheating on their perimenopausal and menopausal wives and postmenopausal female partners, because it lowers sex drive. Menopause does lower sex drive and brings skin dryness and vaginal dryness. Like, you feel like someone's rubbing a dry maize cob into you. I'm sorry, that picture, right? So, yeah, and there are solutions to these, which we shall go into as we go through these episodes. Hot flashes, night sweats, muscle pains, itches, itchy skin, itchy ears. Yes, itchy ears. I had itchy ears and I didn't even know. These are symptoms of menopause. Weight increase that doesn't seem to shift. I talked about uncontrollable weight gain, brain fog, concentration, 62% of women experience this challenge as they go through menopause. That's a huge number of women. That's a huge number of women who all of a sudden cannot deliver, work cannot deliver, home cannot deliver in their relationships. Everything starts breaking down around them, and the people around them are not supportive enough. Feeling low and sad, another commonality with SAD. Craving sugar and starches, another commonality with SAD. Excessive criticism, we talked about all that. Susceptibility to flus, colds, and things, everything going seems to catch you as it passes by. Adult acne, oh my God. Shaky, itchy legs. I talked about itchy ears and itchy skin. Shaky, itchy legs. What are you experiencing in your menopause journey? What are you experiencing as you go through your life? I'd like for you to share with me as you go in the comments. If you're watching on YouTube, share in the comments. If you're watching on Facebook, share in the comments. That way, I can support you, and I can be able to help you. Hello, BLF James. Hello. Sorry, I hadn't recognized. I've just come on over to check out your comments and to say hello to you. And so I can't see your comments on the StreamYard, but yeah, those are the symptoms that I faced as a woman of a certain age. Now let's go into my, like I said, I've already shared with you my personal experience, and so let's talk about something that I want you to understand. I found it difficult to stay focused on any task I was doing. I forgot words. A lot of women forget words. You're in the mid flow of a conversation and you want to say something. It's right there, but it just can't come out of your mouth. It's referred to as brain fog. But I found it weird. I started thinking I was getting dementia or something. I catastrophized every small pain I faced, and the thought of having to go out for any reason, stay awake, make conversation, I just didn't want to do it at all during winter. And I'm on average a very social woman. I experienced upset for any small thing. My family didn't know what to do. And I was like a live yo-yo. You know that little slinky yo-yo? Yeah, I was like that. But science says, according to scientific research, menopause is harder on Black women and women of color, for example, Hispanics, Asian women, than Caucasians. That's science. So that's not me saying, So as a Black woman, as a woman of color, it's very important to prepare for the transition, or if you're in the transition, to take better care of yourself so that you can come out on the other side feeling better and aging healthier, because it's a long process. From 50, you could live another 50 years. You want to live those years in a state of pure bliss. So do you notice the similarities between SAD and menopause? Imagine you are in your late 30s or 40s and you feel like this. Half the time we women ignore these signs and can even carry on regardless, unless you experience more symptoms like heart palpitations, which I did. You could be diagnosed as hypertensive, but that hypertension is connected to the symptoms that I shared. If you're going through all those symptoms, they can actually cause you to have elevated blood pressure. And if you deal with those symptoms one by one, your blood pressure goes normal. And I'm telling you, that's what I did, because I was told I was, because I'm a Black woman, because I'm this, because I had full blood works and nothing seemed to be the case. I had 3 ECGs, and my heart is strong, thank goodness. And so they said, it's because you're a Black woman. And it's because maybe you have a family history of all these things. And I was saying, no, minus me. Type 2 diabetes, a lot of women get that in their menopause. Then you might find that all these can be reversed if you do take certain actions. And I'm not saying it can be reversed, and I'm not advising anyone not to take your medication for any of these conditions if you are facing them, because you might need the medication. All I'm saying that personally, I took a different route and it has worked for me. I highly recommend you go to your GP, you seek out your local practice nurse, you go see a medical practitioner, go to a homeopath, osteopath, or whoever you want to go to seek medical advice. And if it's a mental health challenge, definitely seek out therapy, talk to your GP. You need help, and help is available, especially in the Western Hemisphere. So location, what has location had got to do with anything? Rates of SAD are high in parts of the world with less sunlight and longer winter nights. And that means the location I'm in right now, which is the UK. In general, the farther you go away from the equator, the more at risk you are of SAD. I was born right in the equator. My village is just off the equator. And so you can imagine moving to the west made me, and all the thoughts that were going through my mind, all my Google searches. Sometimes Google is an amazing source of information, but when we are becoming our self-owned doctors, Google gives us information and we then make the wrong diagnosis of ourselves. So if you work outside, allowing you to get more sunlight, this might also decrease your risk of developing SAD. But let's get back to basic mental health and menopause. Okay, so let's talk about your emotions. We know that everybody, including children, even babies, experience different emotions. When a baby is happy, they'll gaggle, they'll smile, they'll throw their legs and hands up like a jitterbug, and they'll just literally make you feel like all soft and mushy inside. When they're not happy, they're going to scream, okay? So children, even babies have emotions. Emotions are feelings that we have inside of us, and they can be happy, they can be sad, angry, scared, excited, fearful, and many more. There's so many emotions you can feel. It's normal to feel different emotions at different times. Yet, during menopause, the not so exciting emotions seem to get amplified. Like your brain, like I said, your brain can catastrophize everything. And it's important to express and acknowledge these emotions. But it's very important to also know how to express them, and express them with love. If you're angry, it's very difficult to express anger with love, isn't it? So it's better to just go away somewhere quietly, count to 10, breathe, meditate, do whatever it is before you get back to talk to somebody else. Never talk to people in anger, because almost always it's regrettable. Now, what can you do about these symptoms, and how do you know it's SAD or menopause? Like I said, usually as a woman, you need help, not just as a woman. Everybody who may be going through SAD or any mental health challenge, male or female, needs to seek professional help. For women, you definitely need to confirm that it's menopause that you're facing, because sometimes it may be something else. Menopause is mostly connected to a woman's monthly menstrual cycle. Therefore, if you notice a major change in your period and also experience one or more of the symptoms that I've mentioned before, and you're a woman over 30, you might be in perimenopause, you might be in menopause, or you might have both SAD. You might be going through some more. In most cases, women in menopause experience some mental health challenges, and it might be SAD if you're under 30. Or you might be going through both. Speak to a professional, seek medical advice, because it is serious and you need the support. Every support you need, you can get, is important. Today we shall focus on SAD, and in the next video, today we are going to focus on menopause, because like I said, I do not have SAD, so I do not have much information more on SAD. So we shall focus on menopause, and it is a much larger subject with various complexities. Either way, every woman needs to tune into these chats and episodes so that you can understand how we can help you. If you're watching on YouTube, I should have said this way earlier. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button so that you get notified when I do share the next episodes. And if you're on Facebook, carry on and follow me, so that you get notified of when the next episode shows up. feel free to visit my website at kalungigroup.com, where I share information around digital branding and website design and all things digital to help you show up in your digital space, be found, be seen, be heard without the BS and noise that's normally on social media. Okay, so let's carry on with what we are doing today. So identify and express your feelings. It's important to express your emotions and communicate your needs to either a trusted friend or a professional. Sharing your feelings can help you feel better. And when I say sharing your feelings, I'm not saying shout. I'm not saying throw your anger at somebody, because that's also expressing your feelings. But express your feelings in a way that empowers you, that will also get you the help you deserve. And that's why I'm saying speak to a trusted friend or a professional. When you trust somebody, you're not going to go with anger at them unless they are the cause of the anger, right? In which case, stay away from them and find somebody else to speak to. Okay, so all you want is for people to be able to understand how you feel. So if somebody has upset you, you just put it out there that you're feeling a certain way. And you can say, so I just want to put it out there, this is how I'm feeling. This is how I'm feeling today, Joe. I don't want you to do anything about it or to necessarily say anything. I'm just saying that that's how I'm feeling right now. And I'm asking you to let me be. Or and that's the way things are, so that you can at least try and understand that maybe the way I'm behaving has got nothing to do with you. When you tell somebody things like that, it can help you find the extra support you need, or it allow you to the space you need to feel better. So it's very, very important to express yourself in a way that empowers you and gets you the help you support you need, and gets you to a faster resolution of those feelings. What coping strategies are also available? We'll talk about breathing exercises, engaging in physical activities, talking to a trusted adult, journaling, practicing mindfulness, relaxation techniques, engaging in hobbies you enjoy. All these sound cliche, but not when you are in that trench feeling rotten. These can be your saving grace. And for menopause, it can be literally what helps you to get through the process and helps your body age better, because menopause is also a sign that you have grown in long in the tooth. You've been around for a few decades, and now you need to look after your body a certain way in order to get to the twilight of your life. So seeking specialist ad support is very important. But let me say this, and I'm saying this with utmost love. Understand, for most Black people, and for most women really, your GP and most health practitioners are not menopause specialists. So they will try to treat the different symptoms you present in silo. Like they present the symptoms you present, they'll treat them as a lone symptom as opposed to a holistic, and more or less they'll treat them as mental health challenges, or they'll give you, here's a drug for your hypertension, here's a drug for your diabetes, here's a drug for your insulin resistance, here's a drug for whatever, as opposed to holistic treatment as a physical life and psychological transition that all women go through, which is menopause. So you need to always ask your medical practitioner, are they menopause specialists? Can they recommend someone who is a menopause specialist? If your symptoms are extreme and you're experiencing all the symptoms I mentioned, or the majority of them, and it's really getting on top of you and it's really affecting your life and your work, you really need specialist advice and support. Self-care is not selfish. Understand this. This is a coping mechanism. Self-care is not selfish. And as you get into menopause, it's important to take care of your own well-being, of your mental health, getting enough sleep, eating nutritious foods, eating live foods. We'll talk more about that. Drinking lots of electrolyte-filled water, exercising daily, and engaging in activities you enjoy. And by the way, electrolyte-filled water is very easy to create, because some people might be thinking, hey, what's that? So doing things that you enjoy, like having a spa date every so often. I mean, a lot of people are not in a financial position to go to a spa. You can create your own spa at home. I used to get candles, put them all over my bathroom, get my bath ready. If you have a bath, fill it with water, put in some Himalayan salt, I have a garden. I have roses in my garden. I'd go grab some roses, put them in the water, and that would give me the rose water effect. And then I'd lie in that bath. The salt, the Himalayan salt, is good for your skin. And the roses, the scent, it was beautiful. And I'd literally just play some really relaxing solfeggio sounds and sit in my bath for 20 minutes, 30 minutes. So you don't have to spend a lot to give yourself a treat. Obviously, if you're having challenges of heating and you don't, your gas bill, your electric bill is hard, it could be really hard to give yourself that care even at home. But self-care will positively impact your mental and physical health. And so let's break it down a little bit more, okay? Let's break this down a little bit more. Get tested, first of all. Get a full blood work. Get tests done to rule out any other physical or mental stuff. For menopause, ensure that you ask your GP to include the following tests: vitamin D, vitamin K, vitamin 12, and ferritin tests in your blood work, because these will help you determine your cholesterol levels, determine whether you are lacking in these essential vitamins and minerals. You definitely want to make sure that your potassium and your magnesium are in the right percentages, because sometimes excessive potassium can cause challenges for some people. You have your calcium is okay in your body for your joint. If you're experiencing joint pains, then calcium may be the problem, potassium may be the problem, vitamin D may be the problem. So all these things kind of get depleted during and towards menopause and postmenopause, and you need to make sure that you have the right nutrients, supplements, vitamins in your body for your metabolic and all body functions to continue serving you into your twilight. You'll also have an idea what's lacking in your body and how to go about restoring them, or what is needed. So because sometimes the lack of these vitamins and minerals that I've mentioned also leads to hypertension. It can also contribute towards type 2 diabetes. In the UK, standard blood tests and MOTs are free on the NHS, but the tests that I've asked you to ask your GP to include are not always standard. So you have to ask them specially, and sometimes you might have to go private to get these tests done to ensure that you get the right results so that you can get on with restoring your body. Because with the drop in your estrogen, funny enough, some people, especially some women during perimenopause, are estrogen dominant. I encourage you to actually go and research on that. And when you're estrogen dominant, your inflammation levels are super high. And then you go through so many of the symptoms that I've mentioned, because that all leads to all those challenges. So as a woman, we'll talk about these things, and I'll recommend a resource, a woman who has been a total blessing to me in my transition, and who has helped me manage and bring my body back to homeostasis. I'm going to recommend two different people and different tools and resources to help you in your menopause. Okay, get outside more, spend more time outdoors. For most of you that know me, especially this time of year, I take a walk outside. Even when you see me exercising inside, once it stops raining, I go outside and take a walk, even if it's just 30 minutes. Spending more times outside, even in winter, hit two birds with one stone. You can also run, you can swim. 30 minutes or so outdoors can help your body absorb more vitamin D to improve your mood, especially for your mental health, and it will help reset your circadian rhythm if you do it in the morning, so that you get to evening and sleep like a baby. And that's very important. It's very essential for sleep. Okay, so what else can you do? Get light therapy, getting out there during the warmer seasons. And for those of you that live in tropical seasons or Mediterranean areas, going out more is also light therapy. Research shows that getting 30 minutes of sunlight daily can be a huge help. So this morning I went out walking, and I was dressed like, in very to get some of that vitamin D in. And like I said, doing it fasting in the morning is even better. In fact, sitting for 30 minutes in front of a special fluorescent light. And I'm just going to show you what mine looks like. I call it my indoor sun. I hope you can see it. Sitting in front of that type of light, it's a lumen. It stimulates your natural outdoor light, and it can help improve your mood, your energy levels. It can help your body start to metabolize that vitamin D or generate it. I call mine my indoor sun. But if you can, please go out. Okay, go outside and take a walk. It's especially great for your cardiovascular health. Because if you take a walk, a fast-paced walk, and you even put in some slow jogging, your heart beat goes up. I try to get my heartbeat to about 123 beats per second. And because at rest, my heart is like at around 54 beats per second. Is it per second or per minute? 54 beats per minute. And when you're per minute, and when you're running and you raise your heart rate to 123 beats per minute, that's very good. It helps flush out toxins out of your system, out of your muscles. It reduces brain fog. It boosts your mental agility, mental alertness, and metabolism too. And this will be great for you. It's because as women, we start to kind of forget things in our menopause. So it will do wonders for your body and mind. Consistent and moderate intensity exercise is the best for raising your heart rate, but not too high, as that will affect your joints. That's what I used to run 5 miles every day, and my joints were screaming murder. Walk to work. Walk to work. If you can. If you walk less than 10 miles from your home, walk to work. I tell you, that's going to save you money. It's going to save your health. It's going to save your life. So, let's go back. Sleep. Let's talk about sleep. Like I said, I was sleepless in Seattle. Anyone remember that movie? I couldn't sleep. And sleep is so important. During COVID, I'd stay awake. Remember, I isolated myself for 31 days. Those days, they used to say you have to isolate yourself for 30 days in order to not spread the COVID. So I isolated myself in our bedroom for 30 days. My husband used to sleep downstairs, and my children would put food at the door, and I would be awake in there all hours. It was painful. It made me upset. I felt frustrated. I was experiencing upset, fear, anger, stress, anxiety, because I couldn't sleep. My heart rate started going crazy. That's when I started experiencing palpitations. Sleep is medicine. And our body and brain recover and sleep and self-repair during sleep. And that is when we get REM sleep, not when you're just lying in bed wide awake. So do whatever you can, do whatever it takes, including asking your GP for help to help you sleep. I wish I had done that earlier, because last year when I went to my GP and she said, are you sleeping? And I said, I stay awake all night. She prescribed something for me that triggered and helped my body to rebuild the sleep habit. And for that, I'm very grateful. But now I take something more natural, and so it's all good. I personally got magnesium, omega-3, which is fish oil, and extra virgin olive oil. I take that every night to support my sleep, my brain, my joints repair. And guess what? Extra virgin olive oil, I have learned from a wonderful woman who's also my menopause coach, called Dr. Wendy Swift Smith, that it's also the best HRT your body can get, unless you have very extreme, you really need the artificial HRT. Extra virgin olive oil acts like natural HRT. And I've got women giving me testimony when I shared that with them when they started using it. So try it. But I'm going to give you several more tips in these episodes. Okay? Build supportive relationships. It's important to have a community around you that you can link in with, to give you a sense of belonging. Research has shown that people who live in certain areas of the world, they are called blue zone areas. One of the things, they live long, and women in those areas barely have any menopause related or mental health related, congenital diseases, because they live a certain way. And one of the things that they have is community. The other thing is also they spend a lot of time outdoors. They walk almost everywhere, so they get a lot of vitamin D, and they eat a lot of natural foods. They eat a lot of their foods live. Most of them eat what's called the Mediterranean diet. But among the things they have is community. It's even more important to have supportive relationships. Friends and family can help you get through tough times. If you have community of people you can talk to, you feel like you're not alone, you're not isolated, you're not going through it alone. People can listen, they can be empathetic, they can be sympathetic, they can be supportive. So talk about it. Seek help if you or someone you know is struggling with menopause and or mental health challenges. I sought help from Liverpool therapy rooms, and I work with a lady called Pamela Burgess. A huge shout out to Pamela Burgess. It has helped me in recentering and regrounding myself into goodness, into my happy self. I'm getting happy Sylvia back. I'm getting the joyous, bubbly Sylvia back. And I am so grateful for that. In addition, because my body, I have the body of my 20-year-old self, and I needed my brain and my mindset to get in with the program. And with the help of Pamela Burgess of Liverpool Therapy Rooms, that has helped a lot. So nutrition, we've talked about nutrition being very important. I've mentioned the Mediterranean diet. It's very important for women in menopause. It's also very important for anyone going through mental health challenges. Excuse me. I need some water. Give me a moment. Water, hydration, very important. I believe hydration is part of nutrition, and this water has electrolytes. Our bodies need food. Our bodies are 80% water. So imagine if you're not drinking water. Actually, one of the symptoms I forgot to mention was constipation. Constipation, like you cannot believe, you will be shitting bricks for some of you. I experienced shitting bricks during my pre and menopause and even postmenopausal season until I learned how to repair my body. And we'll talk about that. Our bodies need food, yet not all foods are made equal. With the reduction of estrogen, we need to rebalance our systems. We need to hydrate. We need to top up our vitamins, and you can see vitamin C, D, K, B12, zinc. They are super essentials. Supplements like magnesium, CQ10, potassium, calcium, very, very essential. Avoid sugar in all its forms, and sweeteners. One of the things, I'll come back to sugar. One of the things that you really need as a woman of a certain age to avoid and reduce constipation is fiber. Fiber is both soluble and non-soluble fiber. There are lots of foods that provide the necessary fiber in your body. I'll share with you those things as well. But let's get back to sugar. There are so many producers of what they call sweeteners, and they call them the healthier options. Please stay away from those things. Yeah, packed full of chemicals that you don't know what they are doing to your body, and some of them have been found to cause certain diseases, so stay away from them. Sugar in all its forms, sucralose, sucrose, stevia, molasses, canderel, you name it, stay away from them. Eat more light foods, fruits, vegetables in their natural form. Eat more salads, low-fat yogurts, kefirs, all those things your stomach loves. They help with the fiber, they help with your nutrition, they help with your vitamins and supplementing. I love these foods. So I highly recommend that you also reduce your alcohol intake. When I said go test your blood, I'll tell you a secret about blood. So reduce alcohol intake as much as you can, more so if your experiences if you're experiencing heart palpitations, elevated blood pressure, elevated blood sugar, reduce alcohol, reduce caffeine intake. Already, if your heart is already having challenges and then you're taking caffeine, caffeine takes between 8 to 12 hours to work itself out of your body. So you can imagine if you're not sleeping and you're taking coffee and you're taking bullet coffee, you're taking all these caffeinated drinks to stay awake, maybe for your work, maybe you work nights, you are really giving your body a challenge. And so instead, drink lots of water. Try green tea. Try herbal teas. Try to fast. Fasting is a great way for your body to heal and restore. All you have to do is intermittent fasting. Just flip the chart. What I do is I'm done eating by 7, and I don't put any food or juices or any solids beyond my mouth between 7 and almost always 10 a.m. the next day. So I give myself at least 14 hours before my next meal, and that is fasting. It's called intermittent fasting. And on weekends, I can go up to 16, 18 hours before I have a meal. Why? Because I then will have a lie-in, wake up at around 11. By the time I'm done getting ready and downstairs preparing the breakfast, whatever, it's 1 p.m. And I'm literally into 18 hours of intermittent fasting. My body loves it, and so will yours. And extra virgin olive oil, 20 milligrams per night with your magnesium, will do the trick for your hot flashes and night sweats. I promise you, it did that for me. It does not replace HRT if you need it, if you genuinely need it, per medical advice, but it will definitely do the trick for you. Okay, so nutrition a different way. Like I said, I'm going to show you some tricks that I did and some things that are related to your blood. Understand that we all have different blood types. Why? Ask God. Okay. Why I'm sharing this is because it works for me. It's not medical advice and I'm not a medical practitioner. I'll say that again. That said, there's a ton of research to back this up. This is, for example, Dr. J. Dadamo's book, Eat Right for Your Type. Your type being your blood type. So find out your blood type. Grab a blood test from Amazon. Here is the link is across your screen. Grab the book. Again, the link is across your screen from Amazon. Eat Right for Your Type, and then go ahead and I'll by the way put this presentation as a download below this video, so you can go ahead and get those links as clickable links, and then create your menu for your body, for your blood type. If you're a woman in menopause, you've had decades of eating anything and everything without stopping, unless you have allergies. So now is the time to be more picky, because you're a woman of a certain age. You also know what you like, and your body is telling you it also knows what it likes. And when you eat right for your blood type, which I have found, you wake up buzzing and you go to sleep like a blessed baby. You eliminate whatever you've eaten like clockwork every morning. It is amazing. I am telling you, when you do this, your body is going to thank you, and you're going to find that a lot of the challenges you're facing for your mental health are also, you wake up one day and you're like, oh, I don't feel anxious. I don't feel fearful. I'm not catastrophizing as what's going on, because your body, your brain, your whole system, every cell, every tissue in your body is getting and receiving what it needs. Okay. So for a woman in menopause, a dash of Mediterranean nutrition style is recommended. That's even more so once you know what your blood type needs, what your body needs, because blood is the fluid that takes everything around our bodies, everything. So everything you eat is then absorbed through your stomach wall and through your intestinal walls and goes into your blood to be taken to wherever it is it's needed. And so you can imagine, if you're eating the right things for that blood to also be given the oomph it needs, you're going to be saying thank you to me. Now, don't stop there. Go get tested for your genotype. Now in the UK, genotype test is over £200. When I found that out, I said, nah, I said no, computer says no. Thankfully for people based in area code 256, you know what that means. You can get a genotype test at Dr. Tamale's at Conrad Plaza. Go tell them that you have been sent by Sylvia Kalungi, and guess what? It's less than £10. No, it's less than £20, the cost of that test, genotype. So now not only do I eat right for my blood type, I also eat right for my genotype. Now, in addition to that, you're going to say, but Sylvia, did that help you release weight? And most of you use the word lose weight. And one of the things I've learned over the years is when you lose something, what do? You go looking for it. So stop using the wrong words. Mindset matters. Release the weight. I released the weight. I'm absolutely buzzing. I feel great. I look great. I'm full of energy. I'm full of vitality. My immune system is phenomenal. And this is because I also chose to take advice and take guidance and follow the process from Elite Nutrition Club. Elite Nutrition Club has helped transform my body, okay, to look like I used to look in my 20s. Okay, so I truly believe that when we follow and trust a process, it works. That is what happened for me. I had tried multiple diets, multiple things, multiple exercise programs with no results whatsoever. In fact, I was getting bigger and bigger and bigger. When I was told that I was potentially hypertensive, and I was experiencing palpitations. I was 80 kilograms. And I'm only 5 foot, a 5 foot woman. So I was way overweight. I now weigh the right size. I'm strong. I have muscle. I feel good. Get your free body composition consultation with the Elite Nutrition Club. If you're based in Merseyside, if you're based in the UK, if you're based in the world, just reach out to me on Facebook. Reach out to me. Julie Seal Kalungi is my user handle. Reach out to me and we will have a conversation. Otherwise, contact Hester on that number and use code Kalungi24. Tell her you've been sent by Sylvia Kalungi. She will understand. And let me know before you go to her so I can give you some tips as well. Give yourself some grace and know that I'm rooting for you. Before we finish this episode, let's very quickly talk about the fact that you are not alone. I've given you 3 different tips to help you in your menopause, for your mental health, for your weight loss, and journey to just feeling good and feeling great and reducing inflammation, reducing all those inflammaging metabolic syndrome. I've given you 3 different ways. Okay, so now let's talk about stigma and stereotypes. The reason I brought this program to you, there's a ton of stigma regarding menopause and mental health. Women are also at the forefront of this. We women do not uplift each other. We women pick on other women. We gossip and backbite other women. It's important to treat everyone with kindness and respect, regardless of who they are. Treat people the way you'd like to be treated. We are all going through something. Everyone's going through something. It might be, you might think what they're going through is smaller than what you're going through, but you are wrong, because to them, what they're going through is huge. All women face menopause if they live to a certain age. And mental health challenges can affect anyone. We are all on a spectrum of mental health, because it's like us. It's also like doctors telling people you have blood pressure. Everybody has blood pressure. Your blood pumps at a certain pressure, and when it goes up, it's elevated. When it's low blood pressure. So it's like mental health, same thing. So be empathetic and don't judge or attach stigma towards those who may be struggling with anything regarding their health, mental, menopause, you name it. Mental, menopause. I'm not saying anything, but what I'm saying is, men, support your women because they may be going through things. Support your women the way you'd like to support your mother, or you'd like to see your mother supported, or your sister supported, or your children, your daughters supported. Okay, so what next? In the next episode, we shall focus more on menopause effects, coping mechanisms, nutrition. With that said, I cannot reiterate enough that you must professional help and or speak to a trusted person about your symptoms. If you're in the UK, seek the NHS. It's free at the first point of contact. Do not sit at home with your challenges, irrespective of whether you are a visitor or you are here, you have your stay. You have free medical support at your first port of contact. So seek help from NHS. The quality of your life literally depends on it. Speak to somebody about your symptoms. You deserve it. Okay, so prioritizing your health overall can provide a strong foundation for your well-being and equip you with the necessary tools to effectively manage any challenges you may encounter, especially during your menopause transition. Always remember that. And finally, if you've enjoyed what I'm sharing and you're happy for the next episode and you can't wait for the next episode, or you know somebody who needs this information, a woman in your life, a young woman who may actually face these challenges as they grow, because every woman faces these challenges as long as they're given the gift of life. Subscribe, hit the bell so that you'll get notified when I come live. Follow us. Kalungi Group is the handle on all socials. Share this resource with somebody. Comment below and share your experiences. Ask questions. Tell me what else you'd like me to talk about. I could create a resource for you around this topic, because goodness gracious me, I do have a ton of information through my research, through training, through programs I've paid for myself, although I would encourage you to buy those programs yourself, but I could share a bit so that you get a taste and you know what to go for. So share this resource. Kalungi Group is my username across socials, or Julie Seal Kalungi on Facebook. Visit my website, kalungigroup.com, where we help people build their digital brand in a way that supports you and supports your lifestyle. And if you've got value, say so below. Thank you for tuning in. Take care. God bless you. And now we are going to stop this recording. And we are ready for any questions if you have any questions. Otherwise, I wish you an amazing rest of your day. And tune into the next podcast and the next upload, the next episode next week. Bye for now.